All right, this is Victor Santana here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the charts here. We're looking at the daily chart of the Dow 30, ticker symbol DIA. And here you can see here we've been on an uptrend the last several days, and they're getting close to a double top. And we're still kind of strong here. You can see we're above these two trend lines, which the dark one is the 5-day moving average, and the bottom's 8-day moving average. And usually when the price movement closes either above or below it, that usually indicates a change of trend. If you look back, when we broke above here, the trend went to the upside. When we closed below here, the trend was to the downside. When we closed above, the trend went to the upside. So as you can see, it's pretty consistent here. And here we're also looking at two indicators here, the top one being the slow stochastics here. Normally anything above 80 rating, which we're getting 83.9 right now, uh, is could be considered oversold and not a good idea to put any fresh money into the market. And the CCI here below is also indicates as far as looking for pivot turns as far as the when it goes up or down. Now what I'm seeing here on the CCI, you could see we have a bearish divergence probably building up here. So if you go from this peak here to this peak here, you could see it's pointing downward while the trend continued up here. So that it could be a short-term warning here that things could reverse. So we'll just keep an eye. And again, once we could see price movement break below these two moving averages here, that's pretty safe to say we're going to go down. How far down? It's hard to tell. Probably the first support will be down in this area here. And then from there, we can go as far down as over here. Or double bottom is way down here. So we'll just take one step at a time on this. Okay, so let's move on to the SPY a little quicker now. SPY, we did get this red day here, a engulfing red bearish signal here, and you can see it did tag below the 8 or right at the 8 and pierced the 5-day moving average and closed above it. So it's still showing some strength here, but it's starting to pierce down here, showing that we could be trading sideways or continue down. Last time we had something similar was right over here, where it pierced the 5-day, but it didn't get down nowhere near the 8-day. So here we're getting close to both. So this is where this is getting very topsy up in this area here. Looking at the slow stochastics here, you can still see it's not as obvious. You have a bearish divergence here, that it's the peaks are getting lower while the price movement was going higher. And then if you look at the CCI here, same thing here. You have a higher peak, and this is a little lower. Now let's move on ahead. Let's look at the NASDAQ. And let me just get rid of this line here. I don't know why it's showing up on all of them. We'll just move that out of the way for now. Okay, NASDAQ, you can see we've gone up here. Now we're starting to, it seems like having a round movement here, rounding, not as sharp. You could say it was almost trading sideways the last 4 days. Looking at the CCI, we do see a divergence bearish. Higher peak up here, lower peak here. Well, price action from here is higher. So that's something we have to keep an eye on here. Also the CCI, see in this peak here, we've got a higher peak and we haven't even started any kind of peak here. So this could be an early warning system here that things could reverse. How far can we expect to go down? Well, maybe we can go down to this area. There's probably some support here. And we also have some support way down here. And can also consider this as some support as well. So it's just a matter of keeping an eye on all of these support lines here. If it breaks down, again, we're looking for a close below these two trend lines. And let's move on now to IWM, which is the Russell's 2000. And that one, if you would notice, already has broken down below and right down here. See, so this is leading the market to the downside or showing weakness now. Going down here, looking at the slow stochastics here, we're under 80, so we're going to look for a pullback all the way down here to even consider getting back into the market. CCI, as far as the short term, is already oversold in this area, so we have a setup to just look, but nothing to enter as far as to the long side as of yet. Now, IWC, Russell Microcaps, also, you see we got that breakdown. Slow stochastics under 80. CCI oversold short term here or down in this area, so we'll just keep an eye on this. And let's go to the IPOs. It's been a popular area, which is FPX, which is the IPO 100, excuse me. It's been trading flat sideways, but if you look here, the slow stochastic has been going down, so we got some divergence forming here while it's going sideways. Indicators going downwards, and the CCI is also going downwards too. You can see it's not totally oversold yet, so there's still room for some downside, and also down here on the slow stochastics too. So IPO is showing a little more weakness, and then also if you notice here, it actually closed 3 days ago below the 8 and the 5, and now it's fighting to decide which way it wants to go. So we had a breakdown here, closed above, now we're closed below it again. Where can we see as far as this moves? Well, I would normally say it would be here, but you could see we've already tagged this right in this area. So next area could be right, well, actually it could be right over here in this area. There'll be some support right there. And then we can go all the way down over here as well. So short term, we're looking for a move down here. And if the move does continue down, we can go all the way down in this area here for the IPOs. All right, so let's now go to the bonds, BND. Bonds, as you can see, is now finally trading over the red trend line, which is the 100. I like to use the 100 to see which way the trend is. In this case, the trend's been down, but now it's starting to flatten out slightly. Still a little early. We're above it, and the 8 and the 5 are still up in this area, so keep an eye on this. And you can see it's under the 80. This hasn't dipped under the negative 100. Now let's look at the semiconductors. Okay, semiconductors, you can see the longer trend. It's above the red line, 100, so the trend is still up. We practically got a double top from it. Actually, you might even say we practically did. It pulled back, didn't close below these two short-term trend lines, so we're still could trade sideways. And slow stochastics here, you can see it attempted to go back up. It's pointing upward, so there still might be a chance it still can go a little bit higher. However, the CCI, you can see here, it's already above the 100. Now it's pulling back. So, wow. just look for a pullback. And as long as it could stay above the 100, we could look for positions to go long. Now let's look at XRT, which is the retail sector. Retail, you can see it's already under 80. The CCI is already broke below 100, so it's going downward. It's still holding, it's just fighting now the 5-day moving average. We haven't closed below it. We did attempt and toyed with the idea of being under, but closed right at the 5. So this is still oversold. And let's go look at some biotechs. Biotechs here. Biotechs, different story here. You can see we did break down, so they're showing weakness right there. Still above the 100-day moving average, so we could look to buy the dips. CCI down here is now under negative 100, so we have a setup to just keep an eye, put it on our watch list to look for any potential bounces. And the slow stochastics here kind of measures a longer trend. It's just starting to come down here, so if it touches down in here, where can we look to see for a bounce? Looking at this here, we already broke below this gap, so that's not an issue no more. So we go further down here and see we got a close, and then we got a gap. So we have a gap right over here, so right there, and then we have a $200. So it might be even right in this general area here. We could look for a some support down in here. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Biotechs. Let's see here. XLV. Healthcare. Healthcare, you can see it's traded above, pulled back, but still above the 2 trend lines. The indicators here just broke about below 80, and this one the negative 100, so we have room to go down if it does. So this we'll just keep an eye on. And let's quickly look at IYT, the transports. Okay, transports, you can see it did close below the 5-day moving average. However, it just tagged the 8, and so it's right in between here. So it's kind of neutral-ish. We don't know which way it wants to go, so we'll just have to wait. And you can see here, it has been going lower while the price were going higher, so you do have a bearish divergence on both of these 2 indicators. Where can we see ourselves go on this one here? Maybe right there, support there. Well, we got pretty good support down in this area as well. If you draw a line right there, stronger support down here, and we could probably even see ourselves right in here. And as you can see, you have the 100-day right there as well. So if it definitely goes down here, this would be a good buy. Okay, so now let's look at the IYR, real estate. Real estate, as you can see here, it still during this time been under the 100-day moving average. It's finally broke above, got up, now it's pulling back. So you can see here, it's pulling back, it's coming down, now it's over. So here on the CCI. So what does that mean? Well, if the trend continues to go up, real estate could then be considered a good candidate for investing. So let's keep an eye on this, and if this can get under to the 20 mark, under where the green zone is, then this is where we're going to consider looking to add a position into real estate for the first time in a long time. Let's scroll back, see. Right there, that's when we broke down right before June, right in this area, and then since then it's been just struggling, and now it's finally popping up. Now, looking at the trend here, it's still downward, so it's still going to have to fight and try to get a higher high, because this is the first time it's pulling back into the 100. So let's move on forward now. Since we got real estate, let's look at the home builders, XHB. Home builders. could see here the trend line is right flat across, so it's pretty trendless right now. You see we try to break up, then on the pullback we're back under, up and down, and now we're back above. So what we're going to do, as long as it gets a bounce above the 100, then we want to consider that as a candidate. So we just have to keep an eye on this, see how far down it goes. If it does break down, where can it go? Probably go down right here in this area, or even down in this area as well. So let's just keep an eye on that. Okay, now let's venture over to the precious metals. Metals, as you can see here, the longer trend has been going down. It attempted to do a breakout here in this area, and then when it did signal to get in, we were under, got this real quick pop, but then failed, went back under, and here we're trying it again. We're back above it, and so we'll just keep an eye on this, and hopefully we can buy it once it gets down to the green zone here, pick up some positions for our precious metals. Since we're talking about precious metals, let's look at the silver. Silver here, as you could see, the longer trend is still slightly bearish a little bit, but it's flattening out. We did break above, got down, got into the green zone, got a big pop, and now it's just flirting around, kind of trying to decide where it wants to go. We did get the high, lower high, lower high. So we'll go from here, and then but now we have this higher high here. So we're looking for a bounce down here in the green zone. Okay, let's go ahead and move to gold. Gold is pretty similar story as the silver, as you can see, and it is above the 100-day moving average, so let's keep an eye on that. And we have this low here to contend to, and keep an eye. As long as it can get that bounce, we'll wait for the pullback and see, as long as it doesn't break below. How far can it pull back? Go all the way, could possibly go all the way down here, depending how the markets go. So we'll have to wait and watch. And then let's look at the rare earth metals. Rare earth metals, as you can see, there's the 100-day. It broke above and tried to get a bounce here, right here at the green zone, but then it just went further down, got to the green zone, went up, down. So it should we're getting a case of lower lows here, and you can see it has this wedge coming down here. We're close to the green zone here, so we'll just have to watch it. This can be a support down in this area. If it breaks down further, where can it go? Actually, it can actually go down in this area, right in this area. This is probably going to be near the low, so we'll just keep an eye on this for the next few days. And let's look at utilities. Utilities here, right above the 100-day moving average. Good. So we're at the high end. So we wait for a pullback and see if we can get into the bounce. Utilities. Let's go to OIH, the oil services. Oil services has been good. You can see even the 100-day moving average is sloping up from the screen from left to right, and looking for the dips. So here we could go a little higher. This might have been a buy entry here, but didn't quite touch. So depending how flexible, we did get that hammer formation near this low. So this could have been a possible up. And then we have the CCI also indicating that to look for an entry. Now we're at the upside, so we do not want to look for an entry at this area. And let's look at the USO. USO, there you were looking, see the trend lines going up. Now it's broke below it, so this is not good. This could be the beginning of a down move for oil. And actually, we put down trend line down here, it's going to have to break above that to even get the bears out of the way. And you can see it didn't even make it to the oversold before it got pulled back. So now the point is, as long as it stays under the 100-day moving average, we're going to look for shorting opportunities. We're going to short the bounces. So it didn't get all the way to the top, so this is not ready. How far can it go? Well, downward, we got a little bit of support down here. As far as upward here, well, it could be right in this area right here. But it's not as likely, but we'll keep an eye on that. Now, let's move on to natural gas. Natural gas, you can see the trend is down. We attempted to, tagged it here. Then we again broke above it. But when the pullback was too far down. So here, we will just short the rallies here. So we'll move on from here. Okay, let's look at financials. Financials. Trend line is going up, so that's good. But it's bouncing up and down within this trend line. And we got a low, a higher low, a high, a higher high. So this is good. And if we can see, we can go down to this area if the market has a deep pull. We are neutral, we're right in the middle, and the CCI is also neutral, right in the middle. So no buy or sell signal here. We'll skip on from there. XOP, oh, oil and gas exploration. You see here we did break down this trend line, so that is not good. Where can we see ourselves go? We looking at this, you can see we tagged it here, so that might be broken, and I could see ourselves go all the way down here. So this might be our range to for entry, and possibly even down here. If that's the case, maybe this will be meeting in this area. Will be stronger support. Here we're looking neutral, still neutral, but we're not totally oversold. But it looks like this could be heading down a little lower to this range here, the 66. So let's keep an eye on that. And let's see what is next. Energy general. Energy in general here, you can see we're above the 100. We're still right above the two short-term trend lines here, right on the edge. We have price action to be the same up in this area from here to here. If you look at the indicators, we have a higher high here, lower high, and same thing here. So we have some bearish divergence. Where can we see ourselves go? We could see ourselves go down right to this area here. So we'll just keep an eye on this and see which way the indicators will tell us. Okay, and let's see, what do we got here? Left XLE. Okay, now let's go international. Global stocks. Globally, well, you can see here we had this peak here, ran up to this area here, touched it, pulled back, still above, so it could still go up, but we have a bearish divergence. This one's not giving us any divergence, however, it is oversold and looking for a pullback down in this area here. We are over the 100, so trend is still technically up. And now from there, let's dig down into the other countries, the BRICS. And let me grab this guy over here, bring it into the screen. There we go. Now we will go, and you can see BRICS are above the 100, which is good. And we do got an entry over here going up, so this would have been our entry point right in this area here. We'll just keep an eye on that. and see it can go as high as up here before hitting some resistance. But it's short term, it's already oversold on the CCI. So if we want to go long, we want to wait until it's down in this area here, the negative 100. And then finally, let's look at the emerging markets above the 100. So the trend is now going up. We got a series of high, seems like higher high. So we're right in the middle. So we're neutral there. And here we just recently pulling back from the overbought. So we're going to wait until it comes down negative 100 before considering going long. And that's pretty much it. I know it's been a while on the videos, but keep an eye on this and go from there. Until then, take care and let the trend be your friend.